Before we get into today's episode, I just want to say this real quick. If you've been enjoying the podcast or if it's helped you in any way, please take a second to rate and follow the show. It really makes a massive difference. It helps the podcast reach more people and it helps me keep doing this. So here we go. This episode is a recap of the year. And honestly, trying to put this year into words, it ain't been easy because it's been messy, painful, beautiful, raw, and life-changing all at the same time. This is me taking a breath, looking back and being honest, truly honest, about the year that changed my life. This is my 2025. Addiction to recovery, sprinkled with a little ADHD. This is TOMU, the open mic, unfiltered. Let's get fucking into it. So I'd say my 2025 probably started in late 24. You know, it's my last mad night out, my last drink, October 20th. And it wasn't some dramatic rock bottom scene you may see in films. There was no flashing lights, no police, no hospital bed. Just emptiness, just tiredness. Just knowing deep down that I couldn't keep living the way I was living. So in November, I sought help for alcohol and substance abuse. That decision didn't come from confidence. It came from fear. From knowing that if I didn't stop, something in me was going to die. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. And that led me to my first Christmas sober since 2009. And that still stops me in my tracks when I say it out loud. For years, Christmas wasn't about connection or family. It was about survival, about numbing, about getting through. This time, I was present. I felt it. All of it. The joy and the discomfort. And that mattered. And through the program in February, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And honestly, it explained my whole life. The chaos, the impulsivity, the intensity, the emotional extremes, the constant feeling that my brain was running a marathon while everyone else was walking. And so I started medication. Mednef, Ritalin, Adderall, same. And you know what? I'll be honest. Those 50 days on that were fucking hell. I questioned everything. My sobriety, my decision, even my sanity. But in April, I moved to Athens. And that changed things. It didn't fix me. It didn't make life easy. But it gave me space. Space between thought and action. It gave me clarity where there had only been noise. It gave me the ability to sit with myself instead of running from myself. And I talk about that in more detail in my previous episodes. Go and check it out. And the medication, it might not be forever. It might not even be for everyone. I mean, who knows? But for me, right now, for where I was and where I am, it's what I need. It's what I needed. And maybe, just maybe, it's teaching me new habits. Rewiring my brain, giving me tools I never had before. But for now, we'll see where that road leads. And in May, I faced my first big sober test. My mate's wedding. A full-blown event. Alcohol everywhere. Old patterns knocking loudly at the door. And I went. And I stayed. And I did it sober. Present, connected, proud. And that moment mattered more than anyone probably realised, including me at the time. And then June came, and I started this podcast. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what's happened since. The growth in these early stages has just blown me away. I mean, I got a hit show of 2025 for new podcasts, for God's sake. I'm in the top 10% globally. Listeners in 34 countries. 34. That's not just numbers. I mean, that's people. That's ears. That's lives intersecting with mine in ways I never imagined. My voice is global. And that is mind-boggling. And if you're listening right now, wherever you are, just know this. I don't take that responsibility lightly. Not for 1 second. But the biggest change this year hasn't been public. It hasn't been measurable. And it hasn't been something you can screenshot. It's been personal. You know, I feel healthier. I feel grounded. I feel connected to myself again. And that's something I lost for a long time. I mean, I'm more connected with people now too, especially in my relationships. I'm enjoying life again. And that sentence alone tells you how dark things used to be. There was a time when I genuinely didn't want tomorrow to come, when I couldn't see anything worth waking up for. I mean, unless it involved a pint and a bag. Now, I'm excited to go to bed, just to see what tomorrow brings. That's not small, that's everything. The adventure is beginning again. And you know, I've cried a lot this year. Real tears, ugly tears, the kind you can't hide from yourself. But every tear has been part of the progress. I've had to tear myself down completely to rebuild, kill my ego, bury who I thought I was, and start nourishing who I really am. I remember being in a pub once and someone asked me, who is Cameron? What does Cameron actually enjoy? And I couldn't answer it. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't know. I didn't know how to. And that question, it haunted me for years. It sat quietly in the back of my mind every time I tried to change but slipped back into my old ways. And now I feel like I'm finally answering it. I feel everything again, more intensely than ever. And yeah, sometimes it's fucking shit. Sometimes it hurts more than I want it to. But it means I'm alive. And I'm learning, slowly, but surely, I'm learning how to process emotions instead of running from them. How to sit with my discomfort instead of numbing it. And you know what? That makes me a better person, a better son, a better brother, and a better boyfriend. And for years, I said I wanted to change. But wanting to change means nothing if you're not willing to do the work. And nothing changes if you don't change nothing. So, 2025 has been an absolute fucking roller coaster. It's chewed me up, swallowed me whole, and spat me out naked, afraid, and lost. But somehow, I stood back up with a newfound hope, a deeper love, and a real appreciation for my life and the world I live in. I've travelled this year, I've taken holidays, and for my girlfriend's birthday, a few days ago, I was able to spoil her. An overnight spa stay here in Denmark. And it might sound small to some people, but to me, that was everything. Because none of that would have been possible in my old ways. Pissing money up against the wall, chasing nothing. Sobriety gave me that. Sobriety gave me presence. Sobriety gave me the chance to invest in my relationship again. And therapy has also been a complete game changer. That weekly space, that anchor, has kept me standing when my head wanted to run. It's helped me understand old trauma, old patterns, and current situations too. And I'll say this quite clearly. Therapy works, but you have to find the right therapist or team for you. And that takes time. But it's worth taking that time to find it. And it's probably helped me reflect and realise I haven't always been a good person. For a long time, I was a pretty shitty one, to be honest. Alcohol and substances took me away from who I actually am. I was escaping a boy inside me, full of anger, injustice, pain. A boy who'd been beaten, abused, who loved deeply and lost. I tried to bury that pain, but instead, I amplified it. I was dealing with myself the only way I knew how, with what I had at the time. And I want to say this, truly, honestly, deeply. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to those I hurt, to those I pushed away, to those I made my problems theirs. I'm sorry I didn't see the path clearer sooner. I've also had a lot of time to reflect on other issues in my life recently, and something I haven't really shared before. Nearly 6 years ago, I lost someone very close to me, my cousin. But really, more like my older brother, a role model, someone I idolised. We shared everything. Nights out, chaos, memories I'll carry for the rest of my life. You see, we had the same patterns, the same escapism. And part of me, I think I carry survivor's guilt. Because I got help. I turned my ship around. And he didn't. He ended up lost at sea. Alone, confused, fighting darkness with no light. And he went out one night, fell asleep, and never woke up. And I think about him nearly every day. And I think if he could have got the help he needed, then maybe things would be different. Maybe we'd be here now, laughing together, talking about memories, speaking about the future and what it holds and what we're excited for, keeping each other on the right path, encouraging one another to make the right choices. But I think he found it hard. And I think maybe he couldn't let go of who he used to be. Those early years where life felt electric, where he felt on top of the world. And when life got a little bit harder, I think he chased those old highs. And his loss, it taught me something brutal but necessary. At some point, you have to grow up. You have to leave parts of yourself where they belong, in the past, and create new memories that actually serve you. And that's what I'm trying to do now. My goal is simple: to help as many people as possible, to help you feel seen, heard, less alone, through this podcast, through my YouTube channel, and through my socials. I want this to be a place where people share their stories, honestly, because we don't need more hate. We need empathy, understanding, conversation. And I know I'm wired differently, and that's okay. Some people get me, some don't, and that's okay too. Trying to be liked by everyone is fucking exhausting. And I am who I am. I care deeply. Sometimes too deeply. Sometimes that passion gets misunderstood, but it always comes from love. And I'm also starting to learn that I can't protect everyone. I think because of what happened to me in the past and what has happened to me, that I don't want anyone I care or love go through that same, or go through anything that I had to go through, and to feel the pain, that I've had to live with. But I had to realize that people have to make their own mistakes. I can't control every outcome. I can't protect everyone. I can't even protect myself sometimes, But I'll tell you what, as I sit here now, looking ahead, I genuinely feel something I haven't felt in a very long time. Hope. Not the loud, arrogant kind, no. But the quiet, steady kind. The kind that comes from knowing you've survived something you once thought would destroy you. And looking ahead, 2026 is my fucking year. Not because everything will be perfect, not because life will suddenly be easy, but because for the first time, I'm choosing it. I'm choosing growth, I'm choosing purpose, I'm choosing to keep going, even when it's fucking hard. And one of the things I've committed to is something that scares me in the best possible way. And I suppose if I speak it now, I'm committing, so this is probably me holding accountability now. Are you ready? Next year I'm planning to cycle from Copenhagen to Athens. Thousands of kilometers, different countries, different terrains, different weather, long days alone with my thoughts, pain, doubt, fatigue. And honestly, it feels pretty fucking symbolic, because that's exactly what recovery, healing, and self-discovery feels like. Some days the road is smooth, some days it's uphill and relentless. Some days you don't know why you started, and you question if you can keep going. But you keep pedaling, not because it's easy, but because stopping hurts more. And I want to raise money and awareness for mental health and spina bifida, because those mean something deeply personal to me. The mental health speaks for itself. I mean, if you've been following the podcast, you'll understand. But the reason for the spina bifida is, and I haven't shared this yet on the podcast, I lost 2 siblings to spina bifida. 2 lives that never got the chance to grow up, to choose, to fail, to heal, to start again. And that's something I carry quietly too, almost subconsciously. Another form of survivor's guilt, because I'm here. I get to walk, I get to move, I get to live. I was also born with spina bifida. And it's something I don't talk about enough. Something I forget a lot of the time. I might not have been given this body that I so often take for granted. I might not have been given the gift of walking. I might not have been given mobility at all. That was a very real possibility. I was given a second chance at life very early on, before I even understood what life was. And for a long time, I didn't respect that. I didn't honour it. I didn't look after myself. I didn't protect myself. I didn't treat my body, my mind, or my life like the gift it actually is. I didn't live like someone who understood how close it was to all being taken away. And cycling from Copenhagen to Athens feels like my way of finally saying, I get it now. This isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about respect, gratitude, and taking responsibility for the chance I was given. Every mile I pedal will be a reminder of that. A reminder that movement isn't guaranteed, that health isn't promised, that life can change in an instant. And every uphill stretch is a reminder that I'm still here, that I can still push forward, that I get to use this body, not abuse it. And I think it's about time I truly started respecting that gift. And if you wanted to support that journey or be a part of it anyway, you can reach out to me. You can find me on my Instagram, @TOMU Podcast. Even just telling me you're watching from afar means more than you know. And then that brings me to you. Because if you're still listening right now, this part here is for you. If you're struggling, if you feel lost, if tomorrow feels heavy, overwhelming, or pointless, please hear me. You are not broken, you are not weak, and you are not behind. You are responding to life the best way you know how, with the tools you were given or have been given at this time. And that means something. You don't need to have your whole life figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need to be fixed before you start. You just need one honest moment, one decision, one step in a different direction. That's it. Start where you are, with what you have, as you are. Because belief doesn't come first, action does. And belief grows quietly in the background while you keep showing up. And one day, without realizing it, you'll look back and think, fuck, I'm not who I used to be. And then the confidence will return, not the loud, ego-driven kind, but the grounded kind. The kind that comes from knowing that you've kept promises to yourself. And with that confidence comes self-love, real self-love. The kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that lets you rest, the kind that lets you forgive yourself. And once you start loving yourself again, everything changes. The way you see the world, the way you let people treat you, the way you imagine your future. So yeah, 2026 is my fucking year. But if you're listening to this, it can be yours too. You don't need permission, you don't need approval, you just need courage. And that doesn't mean fear disappears, no. It just means you move anyway. We're just getting started. Have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you in 2026. And remember, be good to yourself. And before you go, I just want to ask one thing. If you've enjoyed this episode, or if this podcast has helped you feel a little less alone, please rate and follow the show. Cheeky 5 stars would be amazing. It generally helps more than you probably realize. It allows this message to reach people who might really need it. And if you know someone, just one person even, who you think this episode could help, send it to them. Share it with them. Sometimes that small action can mean everything to someone who's struggling quietly. And if you want, you can follow us on our socials. All the links are in the description. And if you want to support the podcast and help it grow a little quicker, you can buy me a coffee. Please. That link's in the description too. And I'm grateful for every bit of support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being part of this journey. I truly appreciate you. Much love. From me to you.